Okay, when I came here, the economy had fallen through the floor. It was after the Asian financial crisis. There was a certain president that Filipinos kicked out, and it was a really rough time
Right.
for the country. But when I spoke to international managers, one after another, they all gave me a very different story. Yeah, there was about their employees in particular.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marie Ampeloquio from Radix HR, and here we are on another episode of Breaking the Mould. And here with us is an amazing human being and is so passionate about the Philippines, so much so that he will tell us the story of why he stayed in the Philippines and why he's helping us build this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of Asia CEO franchise here in the Philippines. Please welcome Richard Mills.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
I'm so delighted because there are a lot
Are
of
you?
absolutely so much questions that I have. And
Great.
Richard, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I really wonder how a Canadian national loved the Philippines this much, enough to help us build this nation. So what about the Philippines that you loved most?
Good question. There's so many things. So I came here first because I married a girl from Philippines. So we met in Toronto. I really respected, admired her, of course, married her.
Absolutely.
So we came here. There was a bit of a business interruption a few years ago. So we came here. We thought we'd stay for 6 months. Things will pick up again back in Toronto and would return. But it turned out we stayed for 22 years. So that's the
Oh my gosh.
short story. I could make it much longer, but I don't think
Correct. No, but I have so much more questions from there.
Sure.
And when you built your company, what was the vision for this? Because where it is now is so big. I mean, when you create an award-giving body, this is an award-giving body, when you ask people to come, they come. And that's the influence that you have in this business. And you touch upon the lives.
It's dramatic, she is.
No, I
But
am
it's
not.
nice.
No, this is true. This is true. I see people having so much respect for the events and talks that you create. So what was it that gave light and vision to this company?
Okay, when I came here, the economy had fallen through the floor. It was after the Asian financial crisis. There was a certain president that Filipinos kicked out, and it was a really rough time
Right.
for the country. But when I spoke to international managers, one after another, they all gave me a very different story. Yeah, there was about their employees in particular. And whatever the industry was and whatever the country they were from was, they said, my Filipino employees, Richard, they're the best. And
Okay.
whether it was the BPO industry or IT or manufacturing or whatever it was, they all had great stories. So I just thought, one after another, some people almost crying. I remember the early days of the call center industry, what they used to call it. People would come in those days. It was hard to get people to come all the way to a third world country like Philippines. So you get the kind of the tier 2 or 3 people
Okay.
from Wyoming or New Brunswick or
Oh.
something like this. But then when they come here, the results of their Filipino employees were so high, so good, that they became stars of their organizations. And pretty soon,
Wow.
they're talking to the CEO, something that they could never have done, except that they came to Philippines and worked with Filipinos. So as I heard those stories one after another, and after a while I could almost tape them and play it back
Right.
for the next guy because it all sounded the same.
Right.
That was when I knew that something big was going to happen in Philippines. But unfortunately, all the news that you hear about Philippines is negative
Unfortunately.
stuff.
Right.
So we built our operation solely to emphasize the positive, totally biased. We do not promote negative information. Yes, it's around, and there's lots of people who tell that story, and
Right.
it should be told,
Right.
just that we don't tell it. So what we want to do with Asia CEO Awards, that operation, is put Filipinos and international people doing great things up on a stage, arm in arm, with the message that if they can do it, you can too. So that's the
Wow.
premise behind it. And we're pleased with it. And thank you for your nice words. I'm going to introduce Marie to my mother one of these days, and she can tell her like that. But
No.
but the event, because
Yes.
of the great success of
Right.
Philippines and the
Right.
economy, our event followed
Right.
along with it. So the one event, for instance, now people say it's the largest event of its kind
It
in
is.
Southeast Asia. So yeah, so people want to attend, please join us and have some fun. Please.
Yes.
What's the next question?
No, plus the beauty of this event is it's not concentrated on a certain industry. What's happening right now is they are not just an award giving body, but an information central that actually gathers men and women in multiple industries and make them talk and come together. But despite
Correct.
the conversations, I think there's still a need for certain issues because we spoke to Celeste earlier, the CEO of IBPAP. I know we're friends also with Jack Madrid, and there's also the CCAP, and that's from the call center and BPO. I know there are other industries that you touch upon. Are there like top 2, 3 issues that they have come to you with, other than, for example, war for talent? Are there other issues that they have come to you with, issues about the government or ways of doing business that are not as easy?
Yeah, but compared to what? I mean,
Compared to what? Okay.
other countries, and I spent some time in Korea years ago, and
Oh, okay.
boy, Filipinos think their country is corrupt. Not Koreans are wonderful people.
Absolutely.
I adore them.
Absolutely.
But there's some real issues underlying there as well.
Got it.
So
Got it.
Vietnam, I mean, there's issues everywhere.
Got it. Okay.
It's nothing new. I know sometimes I get the impression Filipinos think it's only their country that has issues, but I can tell you they're everywhere.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, but the opportunities here are, I think, big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love hearing somebody else. I mean, honestly, guys, sometimes you say really a lot of things that are going wrong for our country, but here's a perspective that's completely different. And we appreciate you for all the positives that you have
Guys,
mentioned.
a lot's going to happen. I don't know if I'm getting off topic but
No,
a
go
lot's
ahead.
going to happen. So the end of this year, according to the World Bank and the UN and so forth, Philippines will hit what they call upper middle income status. And if you've heard that phrase, right? So that's big. That means a lot of countries are now going to be looking at Philippines for growth. There's very few countries that have growth opportunities like Philippines has, with its young population, nice weather, people want to work and improve their lives, all that kind of stuff. Other countries, I mean, look at Japan and Korea. They're having because they don't have young people. They're becoming what they call super aged. They're already super aged societies, and they're dying. They're literally dying countries. China is going that way as well. Europe, North America, but Philippines is the first country that people seem to want to go to within Southeast Asia. I mean, the past 20 years, China was the big deal, but they're now slowing and it's not really an opportunity. But Southeast Asia, in particular, VIP, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines, because they're the largest and have the young population and so forth, most excitement. But of those, Philippines is the first step. Why do you think it would be the first one people would want to come to? What do you think?
To the Philippines?
Yeah.
I would say,
as opposed to Vietnam and Indonesia.
I would say, is it that we're more globally attuned? There are communication as well.
Communication skills, right?
Right.
You can come into Philippines and you can talk to people.
Absolutely.
Even a taxi driver, and he'll tell you that he's underpaid and overworked. But you can't have that same conversation.
That's true.
In Vietnam or Indonesia. I can tell you, I've done it. Even, nice country like Thailand. I once spent, 2 or 3 hours trying to find a taxi driver like that who would just understand Renaissance Hotel. And it was very difficult, even though we all know, I don't know if you've been to Thailand, but they're beautiful people, wonderful, sweet people who really want to help. But the language. Vietnam, I was there a few months ago, and another. So again, wonderful people. But one example, I have the Canadian Embassy, for instance.
Yes.
They chose Philippines as their hub for all of Southeast Asia for promoting Canadian stuff and products and all kinds of stuff. And the reason was because that's where Canadian companies are most comfortable coming. They get set up here, and then later on they'll go to the other countries, but use it as kind of a base.
Yes.
So you'll see this more and more. So we have to welcome them. We want to have.
Right.
There's already skills, business process outsourcing has done a fantastic job of
Absolutely.
getting people, their English is approved, their assertiveness, they can work at international levels and stuff like
Yes.
that. So this employee base is ready for when they come. So Filipinos, we got to get everybody ready for what's coming
Correct.
and not focused on all this gloomy politics
Correct.
stuff that goes on in every country.
And I guess that's the differentiating factor. Now I'm answering my own question about Richard and Rebecca. I think their ease of working really in the Philippines is the fact that they love the Filipinos. They love the way they interact and the mindset of the leaders here. And they're not so much concerned about the politics in the land. And it gets things done because you have mounted so many events. I mean, I just recently attended this couple mounted an event for the small, medium enterprises here in the Philippines. And I met some of the amazing and brightest men and women. I was planning not to go because of another meeting, but boy, I told Rebecca and Richard, I'm so glad I went, right? So what are the other passion projects that your company has? As far as, are you going outside of the Philippines or are there more things to be done here in the Philippines?
Well, just that's interesting. We were planning to go outside Philippines, but we had booked to have the first event in Vietnam in March of 2020, just before COVID started. And then Indonesia was supposed to be a little bit later. So it kind of got messed up. So now we're back. We're focusing on Philippines. We see the opportunity here. You know, we had an event a couple of weeks ago. It was a women's event that we've done for many years. And oh God, the quality of women. This is another unique differentiator Philippines has. I don't know if people follow the UN, but they have this global gap index thing where they rank countries by the female penetration in the professions and business and government and so forth. Philippines ranks always near the top, in the top 5 or 6, along with Sweden, Norway, Denmark, these ones, right?
Pretty amazing information.
So it's amazing. So this is another key advantage because you can hire men and women. So your employee base is more diverse and more opportunity. It's another advantage that I think a lot of people downplay or just don't realize.
All right. Now, quickly, I want to talk about, because a lot of the companies here in the Philippines and abroad, especially in Asia, are really wanting to be part of the Asia CEO. So they always have this annual amazing event. So this year, 2025, when is it going to be?
October 14th at the Grand Ballroom of the Manila Marriott. This is the largest Grand Ballroom in the nation, the only one that can hold the event. We usually get 1,000, 1,300 or so of the nation's most senior business leaders. So join us. You'll meet some people. You'll have some fun. Eat some pretty nice food that my wife spends a lot of money on. And yeah, be glad to have you with us.
Fantastic. And year on year, Richard, I noticed that you add a certain category. There are a lot of amazing categories that great brands here and abroad are gunning for. Really, I look at the roster of nominees and I'm so impressed about how many companies here in the Philippines and abroad want to be part of that roster. Is there anything that you're adding up to the list of awards?
We're just working it out now. Maybe next time we talk, I'll have more information on that.
Sure.
There's still, lots to do there.
Okay, fantastic. Talking about passion projects, is there any 1 or 2 projects that you're so very much invested on that other key companies here in the Philippines or government agencies can be of help? I think the audience that we have in our YouTube channel are business leaders or senior leaders as well. And if they hear something that you're talking about, they might be able to help or assist or support you in whatever way or form. Is there something that you and Rebecca are working on?
We're looking for organizations and people who want to be world-class. If Filipinos are going to be paid world-class incomes, we got to get them up to real world-class performance and mindset. So this is what we're looking for, people that we can promote and organizations who really want to go big. And we're pleased with the number and quality of companies and people that are being developed, but we just see a lot more that can be happening. And if the country is to reach first world status, which it seems to me it will, I can go through that. It'll take a couple of minutes, but we have to have as many world-class organizations as people as we can produce. So,
Correct.
Yes.
Fantastic. And by way of curiosity, because now that the audience knows how much you've invested your time here in the Philippines, the kind of events that you mount, to really showcase the Filipino talent, can you tell me what specific characteristic of the Filipinos are really, aside from the more obvious of amazing leadership skills, like two or three that really stands out in your interactions with Filipino leaders and employees? What are those, Richard, in your mind?
I think the relationship side is important. I worry in the West and in many countries, as they become more wealthy, maybe, I don't know why, but lose their relationships
Wow.
among people.
Mhm.
And relationships are very important.
Yes,
When you do
absolutely.
business, who wants to do business with someone who's not your
That's a
friend, that you
great
don't
point.
respect? But if you build friendships, what could be better than that? Working, your clients become your friends, your suppliers become your friends,
Actually.
and you build a family with your employees. That is how sustainable business works. And you can do that a lot more easier here than you can in other countries. And also, as I mentioned, the women are involved. Not only
Yes.
involved,
Yes.
they're at leadership positions in a big way. When I've been to other countries, I won't make the name, but everybody knows that you're dealing with a bunch of men, which is great. I like men, but it's nice to
But,
have the women too,
right,
because there's a lot of synergies and so forth, and it's a much better environment to
right. And I love you make that,
excellence. Yeah.
and I've never heard that kind of answer before when I ask about the leaders, about what they, especially foreign leaders, about the characteristics of the Filipino, but you described it very succinctly as relationship building is very important. And
It
the
is
fact that
key differentiator.
key differentiator, right?
Yeah, because Filipinos speak good English mainly. They're nice. That's related to relationship, but which is
Yes.
important, very important.
Yes, yes.
They work hard. Certainly they do. But everybody does that stuff.
Right.
In the U.S. and
Right.
Britain, Australia, whatever. That's okay, and it's very important. Don't
Yes.
get me wrong.
Yes.
But the differentiator is youth, right? Other countries don't have the youth, but that's related to relationships also, because family relationships are stronger
Absolutely.
and intact here.
Absolutely.
In other countries, birth rates are declining dramatically.
Yes.
Some countries, and especially in Asia, they're not having babies anymore. So this is a key differentiator, Marie. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And then, Richard, as we wind down our conversation, I know that there are like 9 more remaining months in this year, aside from the Asia CEO Award this coming October 14, 2025. And of course, I recently attended the event. There's a forum for women, which is amazing. It is, again, a cut above the rest. And there's for the SMEs. Are there other segments of conversations or talks that you're mounting very soon as well?
There is. So actually, tomorrow morning we'll have a renewable energy forum that will be packed. It's a bit late for people
Wow.
to come to that one, but that's a very exciting
It
area.
is.
We're having a company that's entering the country. They want to have a high level, smaller one, maybe 100 people or so, but senior leaders in their industry
Wow.
that they're focused on. Another big company, one of the largest, will have a similar type of event. We'll have an HR event,
Yes.
a technology event,
Wow.
real estate, another key
Wow.
area. Yeah, so a lot. It's a lot. I'm
It's
getting
a lot.
old, but I can still do this.
I
And
don't
so,
know, but amazing that you're trying to create, certain industry segments or verticals and then showcasing them. And then there's a year-end event that actually comes together where every leader from every kind of industry would actually be in one room fighting for certain awards. But the great work, Richard, and of course your wife, Rebecca, Philippines is so much better with you in it. Not true.
we're a promotional vehicle. We want to display excellence. So if you are excellent at what you are doing and you've got a story, send us a message and we'll see whether we can get you part of some event or something. And we want businesses to grow and for people to meet each other, make friendships that become business relationships.
Yes.
So,
In fact, Richard, I think if anything else, that's actually breaking the mold. I mean, we are not just here about the men and women and companies that you've already helped. Maybe there are people in the audience. They're asking the question, how do I get in touch with Richard? How do I become part of some of the conversations? How does my industry become a member of the Asia CEO team? So
Yeah, if you're not receiving our invitation, send us an email. It's just asia-ceo.org. There's a thing you can fill out, and we'll put you on the invitation list. Rebecca Bustamante is my wife and our CEO. She more well known than I am. She does a lot of speeches and
She
posts and
does. She
stuff like
does.
that. So if you can find her more easily, Rebecca Bustamante, send her a message, and she's really good at responding. So better than me. So
And you are on LinkedIn, right?
we are.
Yes, and of course there is a website of the Asia CEO franchise. So
Sure.
we will find you there.
Good.
All right. So everyone, this is an amazing episode. Imagine a foreigner, but not so foreign at all because he's more Filipino than most Filipinos I know. Please give a hand to Richard Mills for this amazing episode. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Richard.
Thank you very much.
You know,
Real
for
pleasure.
being with us. All right.
Very
Thank
nice.
you. All right. Thank you.